I'll give you these 2 tips in order to successfully get your air layer to root for a loquat. One, I'd say that you want to start the air layer somewhere between June and August, depending on your grow zone and the temperatures in your area. I'm at my parents' house. It's the day after Thanksgiving, and y'all remember those air layers I did? I did it with you live, but now let's check to see what we got going on. So first on the list for what we did air layers on is this fig right here. Kind of hard to tell because of the color of some of the roots, but this is a root and it's busting out of the bag. So let's go ahead and clip this all the way as far back as we can and get this out of here. That's it. So the roots, you can see them in here as well. They're well defined there and there. Let's go check out the loquat and see if we had as much success as we had with this fig right here. So this right here, if you can see, this is where I attempted the first air layer. This is the one that I did live with you guys. And what you can see is I obviously didn't scrape it down enough because it literally peeled over on itself. Let's go on to the second one that I did. All right, so this is number 2. I did this one off camera, but I did a little different. I scraped this one down to the white meat. So let's check it out and see if we got roots. Boom, there it is. Y'all see that? That's crazy, look at all those roots. Yes, we got her. We're finally at my brother's house. These are the air layers right here. We need to go get proper containers for them. This is the fig. Kind of hard to see those roots, but you can see them. And then this is the loquat. Boom, you can see those roots just fine. So the loquat is pretty tall. It's about easily 6 feet. 6 feet in height. That's what we're dealing with. So I just learned that loquats actually have a taproot. And I learned that from LF73. So since it has a taproot, what I want to do is put it in a container that's going to allow it to mature and develop its roots as much as possible so it's nice and healthy, although still giving me time, well, still giving my brother time to get this loquat into the ground wherever his next location may be, whether or not he stays here. He's got time to figure it out. So that's the step that we're about to do today. We're about to go snatch up some containers, bring you back, and then finally get these things in the pot. They're dying to get in the pot, so we're gonna pot them up. And then maybe we'll do a little tour of the garden since we're here, you know. Garden looking better than mine, ain't that a shame? Let's go. So we back, we went around the corner, we checked out Malik's garden friend, Eli, dope dude. He had a whole bunch of stuff. We ain't had time because the sun was going down. But we're gonna come back so I can show you what he's doing. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a base. The one we're gonna do first is the loquat. And this is just a nice little mix that my brother put together. It's got compost in here, some peat moss, and of course I'm gonna throw a little bit of bone meal in here as well. Now, hear me out, family. This is a 20-gallon container, might be a little bigger. It's at least 20 gallons because that loquat develops that taproot, and we know that I went entirely too low with this plant as far as the air layer. I'm setting up a good foundation, probably a good 6, I might even go 10 inches to put this on top of so it gives it room to do its thing. All right, and I don't want the taproot to start wrapping around itself, choke itself out and kill it. So we should be able to keep it in this container for a year, maybe up pot it one time, check on the taproot, make sure it's okay. So I'd say he's got 2, maybe 3 years max to keep this thing in the container, and then we got to get it in the ground. All right? Okay, it's getting dark, y'all, so bear with me. Now, check it. Now we're gonna take this and we're gonna free her. Go ahead and cut this twine off. I said a sharp knife. You about to get me killing myself out here.
That's not a sharp one?
No, this is not sharp. I got it out. All right, so this is our root. Now it doesn't have a root stock anymore. So we're just gonna slide it in here and then fill her up with soil. So we're back. We have sunlight now. And I just want to give you an update on what we're working with. They made it through their first night. The new cuttings have made it through their first night. As you can see, last night, we threw them in these 20-gallon containers. I believe they're 20-gallon. They're at least 20-gallon containers. I want you to take notice to something real quick. We went ahead and we removed all of those extra stems and limbs that you saw supporting on this plant. And the reason why we did that is because we want the plant to focus on driving its roots more so than foliage. My brother doesn't have a lot of time before this weather gets cold and stays cold in this area. It's kind of weird because even though he's in a warmer grow zone since I've been here, it's been getting colder at night than it does average where I'm at in Maryland. So crazy how that works. But regardless, we did it. LF73 chili dog method was easy enough that this rookie, this beginner, was able to pull it off. And like you know, I did 3 air layers on the loquat. One of them I left on the plant because I didn't see any roots. The other one, we know it healed over already. And then this one, well, this one was a success. And then the figs, well, generally, figs I think are relatively easy. The bark pulls off very clean. It's just very clear what you're supposed to be doing. I'll give you these 2 tips in order to successfully get your air layer to root for a loquat. One, I'd say that you want to start the air layer somewhere between June and August, depending on your grow zone and the temperatures in your area. And then the other tip I'll leave you with is you need to be patient. You're gonna have to wait probably about 60 days for this, because I waited 60 days. And I'll give you one more. When you cut that coming layer back and you remove that section of that bark, this successful one, we cut it back to the white meat. You really want to make sure that you don't have any of that green left, or I think what's going to happen is it'll end up peeling over on itself like that first one did that we air layered when I was live. So the air layers are going to do just fine. As you can see, the no-dig garden is still flourishing. He's got a cabbage that's almost ready. Came to full head. There was one over here. It's got some kohlrabi out here. Yeah, that thing's almost ready. Yeah, he's doing good. As you can see, this method works like I told you it would. And that pretty much wraps this one up. Hey, so thanks for checking in yet again for another episode of Turf Therapy, where we're healing lawns and souls. And I'll see you next time for your weekly dose of therapy with Rob.